My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. I'm going to give you my PrizePicks entry for UFC Vegas 79. If you don't know what PrizePicks is, it's daily fantasy. You come in here, you say higher or lower, more or less than the numbers you see on the screen, and if you are right, you can 10 times your money. You could even get some wrong and make money. It's a ton of fun. It's super easy, and they will give you free money to do it. All you need to do is go to wewantpicks.com/prizepicks. Use promo code WWP, and they will instantly match your deposit. If you give them $50, they'll give you 50. If you give them $100, they'll give you $100 instantly that you can use to build an entry. And as soon as you build that entry, if you win, you can withdraw that money. That is yours in your pocket. If you lose, well, you lost their money. It was the free money. wewantpicks.com/prizepicks, promo code WWP. Let's go ahead and jump in. I'm only going to break down fights, right? I'm going to break down UFC Vegas 79, but this is all sports. If we scroll up a little bit, you're going to see everything, and obviously including the NFL, which I know is a big deal for a lot of people. You can mix and match sports, mix and match lines, and make stuff happen. On Tuesdays, you're going to get all sorts of fancy promotions for Taco Tuesday. Same with Thursdays. It's a whole thing. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump in. This is another tricky card. I feel like lately PrizePicks for MMA has been very, very tricky. So we're going to try to find our spots. We've had a lot of success with Underdog. Check out that video if you haven't yet. So coming in here, we got significant strikes. The only significant strike I like, the line I like, which you guys are going to have an issue with, is less than 90.5 for Rafael Fiziev. And let me walk you through, okay? He did get past that number against Justin Gaethje, but that was a straight up striking match. There was one takedown attempt in the third round, all right? And he barely beat this number. Before that, he went 5 rounds with Rafael Dos Anjos, 64 strikes. 3 rounds with Brad Goodell, 66 strikes. Bobby Green, 104. He got past the number, but again, that was only striking for 15 full minutes. Renato Moicano, 21 strikes, 78 strikes against Mark DeCasey, 66 against Alex White. Like, he barely gets past this number twice in his entire UFC career, and both those times were against pure strikers that stood there with him most of the fight. This is not going to go that way. He's either going to knock Gamrot out somewhat early, or Gamrot's going to have success wrestling. Either way, Rafael Fiziev should not get to that 90.5 number. So I do like that number. The rest of these significant strikes lines are a little tricky, right? Because Brian Battle's been taking people's heads off clean and early, so it's hard to know what he's going to look like. Muhammad Usman, 26.5 is a low number. It should get past that. But the reality is, if he's just going to lean on him and wrestle hard the whole time, that might be a little bit of a harder number to get to than you would think. If we look at his last fight, so he just fought Junior Tafa, 3-round decision. Okay, 3 full rounds. I'll give you 5 seconds now. That's a long time. I'll give you a second to guess how many strikes he landed in a full 3-round decision. 7. 7 strikes. So all of a sudden, 26.5 is the biggest number in the world. So that's why we're going to go ahead and leave that alone. Mizuki Inoue, she gets takedowns, potentially a submission. All of a sudden, that's a tricky line. Tamiris Vidal, we have her playing somewhere else. So the rest of these lines I don't love. Jacob Malkoun seems low. This dude is just a crotch sniffer diving at legs the whole time. He may not get to that number, or he may blow past it if he stays busy on top. So we're going to go ahead and move on to fight time minutes. I don't have any fight time minutes that I like. Main event, I mean, it could go the distance. It could be an early knockout. Brian Battle, as of late, he's been taking people's heads off. He is fighting AJ Fletcher. This should go a little longer. I actually kind of like this 11.5. But over 1.5 round line is 7.5 minutes. So this is saying this will go into the third round. Charles Jourdain basically saying a decision. Could be. I don't like playing the over on 12.5 minutes. So again, I don't love any of these. But if we go to Fantasy Score, what I do like here is the more on Tamiris Vidal. Tamiris Vidal is going to ragdoll Montserrat Rendon. Montserrat Rendon's a little older. She is a grappler. Tamiris Vidal is a better grappler, a more dangerous grappler, has bigger, heavier hands. She could put this chick away. She can take her down, beat her up. She's younger. She's better at everything. And younger and more dangerous. So I think Tamiris Vidal could get past this 87.5 because potentially win by finish. And if not finish, she could have a knockdown. She could have a bunch of takedowns and score really, really well there. So I like the over or the more than 87.5 fantasy points. And then the last line I like here is if we go to takedowns, more than 1.5 on Muhammad Usman. I do think he's going to get some takedowns here. That's what he's becoming as a fighter. He's becoming a wrestler. I don't think he's going to stand there with Jake Collier. He's going to have much more power than Jake Collier, but I do think the pot shots, the constant jab in his face is going to bother him, and he's just going to look to come forward. He's a much larger, stronger, more powerful, faster human being, and I think he'll look to get it to the ground. His takedowns kind of suck. He did get 2 against Junior Taffa on, it was like 2 takedowns on what felt like, here, I'll tell you how many attempts. 2 takedowns on 2 of 12. 12 attempts, you got 2 takedowns. That's not great. That's not great. But with that being said, Junior Taffa is a very, very good kickboxer. He's a very large guy, but he has spent the last couple of years only defending takedowns and nothing else. Muhammad Usman should be able to get Jake Collier down twice. We just need 2 for that to hit. The rest of these lines are a little tricky. Jacob Malkoun, 3.5. That's normally a guarantee. He averages 7 takedowns per fight, except Cody Brundage can't get past the first round half the time. Cody Brundage has early success and then immediately falls off a cliff, so that's tough. Doug Nasty, Bryce Mitchell, 3 is a really tough line because you need 4 for it to hit, and he averages 3 because he has such good control. He's not the type of guy that takes you down, lets you up, takes you down, lets you up. That's Jacob Malkoun. If Bryce Mitchell gets you to the ground, you're not going to get up until it's the next round, right? You can get up, round's over, you get the next round. So to hit 4 takedowns, we need Dan Ige to get up more than once. So we're going to go ahead and leave that alone, and we're going to lock this entry in. I actually already have it going. But if we do the power play, just 3 entries, throw in $20 at just these 3, win you 100. If you do the flexible pay option, right? I'm a little nervous. It's a sketchy card. Well, if you get 3 correct, you 2.25 times your money. And if you get 2 correct, let's say all of a sudden Muhammad Usman knocks him out on the feet. Well, you still 1.25 times your money. That's 25% net profit, and you got 1 wrong. The most important thing is you get the free money. WeWantPicks.com/PrizePicks. Promo code WWP. They will instantly match your deposit. Take that very free money. Build yourself an entry. Whether you like UFC or not, this is all sports. WeWantPicks.com/PrizePicks. Promo code WWP.